Good morning. I don't know that it could have been any worse. Meta, IBM. We'll see what more comes from that. But these numbers in GDP 1.6, consensus was 2.5. It's below 2. Uh, Anybody thinking about recession? I think some are. And I guess we'll wait for the next one to see if it's below 2 or what's happening, but certainly not good. As you can see, futures are down. And as we look at this, of course, we say, well, it created support. Got a pivot low here. Could it hold? Sure. There's another pivot low down here. One of the patterns that often happens is prices come down below the prior pivot low and then make a turn. We need to see a lot of information before then. I don't think there's going to be any miracles today as far as turning this into a bottoming tail bar. Typically doesn't happen with a pattern like that. Could it be worse? Well, I don't know that it could be worse today. But I think this is bad enough to start. And so I think, coming down here, if as far as the bullish case goes, I know there's going to be buyers down here. It doesn't mean they're going to go down. It's going down there today. We shall see. As we look to the left, there's a little support that it's on right now. It's trying to hold there. Unlikely that it's going to. And of course, down here at those lows, and we'll just have to see how that all unfolds. The tech has been leading the way down, and as you can see, moving down, it never got up into here. Where if you look at say S&P value ETF, it had led the way up and it was up in there. I haven't looked to see where it's at now, but I'm sure it's down. But so what was leading reached resistance, and this clearly was showing relative weakness. I don't know if NVIDIA is still up, but a little while ago I saw it was up. We're seeing a lot of these, we've talked about these 1, 2, 3 patterns. We see these a lot. These are one of our favorite kind of setups. And whether this developed into a 1, 2, 3, which we talked about earlier in the week, was of course an unknown. And we'll see what happens into the end of the week here. But we've got a wide range bar igniting from a consolidation. And of course, that's bearish. And that implies more downside. One of the other concepts that we talk about is wide range bars create voids. And sometimes they can be negated. I use the explanation that it's a power bar, but the weakest link because it creates a void. And so as we see some other markets that had come down like that, created voids, like SPX value, they went up in there and now they're coming down. And so those probably will show some relative strength, whereas these will continue to show relative weakness. And whether it stops down here or stops down here, we'll just have to see how that plays out as far as what happens when it gets there. Use bar by bar and see what each bar says. But right now, this is turning into a topping tail bar, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow afternoon. The Dow bounced. That reached the 20 MA, but that led the way down. It reached this major support area. And so looking at different price patterns, what we see here is a giant void below. Now, this is obviously a futures contract, and this isn't filled in as much as what if I was to put a continuous, but we look at the industrials, and there's the beginning of the turn, the breakout bar failure that we talked about. When this bar formed, if it broke below here, and obviously it has, and now this moving down, Well, I'm looking at this and thinking, you know what typically happens when prices pull back like this and then make a turn and then subsequently fails, you get a measured move, which just eyeballing it would put it somewhere down here at around, if it breaks below that pivot down here at 36,000. And you see these overlapping opens and closes here, which, if I was to scroll sideways, you're going to see a consolidation in the base. But, there's a lot of time. We'll see how this plays out. As you know, the transports broke down, and look at that big top. And that, unfortunately, has implications for recession as well. Well, so we see these kind of things, and we look at technical analysis, intermarket analysis, see these kind of patterns. What are the implications of a transportation index? Breaking down. They do, Robert. The economic numbers show people are working, but there's a lot, not a lot, but other explanation for that was, well, businesses are hiring primarily part-time workers. So people are working, and the other side of that is we also have heard that there's over $1 trillion in credit card debt that's coming home to roost. 20% interest on all of that money people are going to withdraw. So, all this looks pretty bearish. We talked about, a few weeks ago, the rising price of oil and gold moving up. It's correcting a bit. Gasoline, having moved up. No, seems the markets didn't care. Agricultural moving up. No one cared. It was all about the Fed's going to cut interest rates. Commodities moving up, metals moving up, and as we see, the 10-year moving higher into a void above. All of this is going, as this moves up, the cost of money goes up. And this piece of information should really start to rattle the markets. And there's been no talk of this yet, but and if there's some kind of recession, how is the Fed ever going to raise interest rates? But why is this going up? Well, it could be just a move to a safe place. That could be pushing this up as money moves into short-term instruments. But clearly, this is moving up. Where it appeared that maybe it was going to break down and was sideways. So maybe that's the explanation why these short-term interest rates are moving up. Just something we'll keep an eye on. I got my alert up here to see if it continues higher. Obviously, it's not coming back down here in the short term. I'll just drag that up and see if this is kind of like a little bit of a fluke. And yeah. SPY, what time is it? It's still early. Let's see where this is. It's gapping down, significant gap down, into this support. And just scroll this down here. Why is this 499? Wow. Oh, it's an intraday chart. Okay. Anyway, it's gapping down into this area. It stalled at this resistance. And, we were talking in the green room at the end, in the latter part of the day yesterday. And I was like, well, just because we got a red bar over here doesn't mean it has to go down. But this is news driven, obviously. But this was, bullish price action. So that's adding a little pain to the situation because the depth of the retracement into this resistance area and then going sideways, was suggestive that, hey, longs were, rather confident that it would go higher, and it did have a void above. So, that was the thinking. We'll see what the news brings, but if it can clear here, then it could have gotten up to the converging moving averages. That's not happening. See, it's moving down, and there's bearish 1, 2, 3 in development here, and this is turning into a topping tail bar, at this time, and that would kind of suggest it's going to come down here, but day by day, there's a void here, there's another void here. Coin, not doing too much, holding there. We looked at the transports, IWM. Yeah, of course, it has to be going down. Didn't quite make it to the 200 line. And so now, this would be suggestive that it's going to come down to the bottom of the base in the 200-day moving average. We'll see if that holds up. That'll be part of a tell intermediate term, whether this breaks down below here and whether it's a total risk off thing or whether it holds and shows some relative strength. So we'll be watching for that. Financials showed some relative strength, but they just hit the minor resistance. They're gapping down. Of course, retailing, which was looking fantastic, that broke down. So, wherever we look, it doesn't look good. Semiconductors, moving lower. 1, 2, 3, bearish 1, 2, 3. Biotech, where is that here? That's gapping down. So that led the way down. Like, okay, maybe this will hold here at the 200. Not so sure about that at this time. Crude oil. So a little bit of a silver lining that this is coming down, but also if the recession thing is, based on this GDP number is a possibility, it would make sense for crude oil to come down. And that could offer some relief as far as, inflation, but interest rates are going up. So kind of a stagflation kind of situation. Either way, it's just not good. And then, they were so hung up on getting these rate cuts. And I'll be interested to see maybe tomorrow this, I don't know how quickly it updates. If anybody knows, you're welcome to say, but this Fed Watch tool, how often does it update as far as expectations for a rate cut? At this point, it would be interesting to see. I'm just looking for June to see what it says there. So not too good, not too good anymore. I guess so, Patrick. I don't know that about causing a recession. I think that they were trying to thread the needle with working against the failed Bidenomics BS. So between a rock and a hard place. Hey, some more pain will come. Hopefully in November, we'll get some significant changes and hope for the best. What else could we do? Right? I think that's it for me, Dan.
That's it.
I think it's worse than Jimmy Carter, Patrick. Go listen to some of the stuff on Tucker Carlson and what's going on and why at the border. I mean, it is unnerving.
Yeah, I watched that last night. So thanks for giving me a stomachache. All right, so this is playing out very, very, very close to what we predicted and we're hoping. And what is that, you might ask? We're down a lot. Switch this. But Michael Jackson here, look at this as a 1, 2, 3. So this is actually looks great as a new trade over the high. All right, so I mean, we rocked last week in shorts, trailed out, started getting long here and here, expected a 1 to 3 day bounce. That's exactly what we got, a 3 day bounce. We were cautious yesterday ahead of, Meta and these employment numbers and Kerplunk back under 500. So I'm happy. I like this gap down. Had we gapped up to the 50 here, I would have sold all longs and, then started looking short 30-minute low. All right, before I look at earnings, Raul here, BDC short yesterday's low. Sure, it's a sell setup topping to. And yeah, let me set an alarm about right here, 82, 82.80. And Actro, he's asking about, sure, yep, other sell setup, 180 reversal, lighter volume though, as you can see, 115. I like the other one better just because this one, it's, fallen a lot from here to here. And I see this pivot here. So watch, when I hit the weekly chart, I'm going to see something there. There you have it, see? So I actually don't like that one, but BDC will do. All right, IG. Just type these out. We got to go real quick. That's fine. That's fine. PMT. I don't like that one myself because it bounced with power from a rounded bottom. So we can find so much better. Like look at PCAR here. Compare that IG to PCAR. Yes, PCAR is a lot down a lot here, but it's a sell setup, bear flag with a much bigger void. So I would have posted PCAR official, but it has 430 earnings, and that's so you all can do it here in the green room, no problem. But it's a little tight to give to subscribers. This one's fine, but I wouldn't expect a new low myself because it's major support, deep retracement, but start off with a day trade is fine. All right, let's go to earnings here. We all know Meta is causing a bad mood in the queues. We didn't do any earnings trades yesterday. There's a ton of them here, and I already went through and deleted a bunch of them just so we wouldn't waste our time because there's so many to review. But I was considering a condor at 420 and then whatever it was on the upside, I forget, 600. And there wasn't enough premium was the problem. But I didn't think it would go this far. I didn't. That's a big old nasty drop. So now look at the weekly monthly. The monthly is a Climo that went from sub 100 to 530. So I think that is a many monthly top. That's a nasty gap from a topping pattern. So obviously, it's dragging down a bunch of things and cues in the market. But let's look at some other heavyweight ones that have earnings. Not Tesla. Tesla had earnings yesterday. And that Ron Barron real estate guy was talking about this today. He's a Tesla lover. He's really excited about their robo driving project. All right, Ford was up, now down, no interest, Valley. It This is one I said if it opened flat, I liked it over the high as a bottoming pattern, but Alpha Romeo. Strong, gapping up in a weak market and a strong uptrend, but I'm not chasing it. Charlie Papa. I think this got killed yesterday because of some other railroad earnings. Gapping down a little bit, but it's down so much. It does look lower, but I wouldn't touch it unless it had a couple of inside bars. IWM. I actually was contemplating the 170s, but there wasn't enough juice. And that's some nasty pain on IBM. So, another tech heavy driving down tech. KNX is a trucker. I don't see any prints. Today's Thursday. If it can get over Tuesday's high, looks like it'll fill the gap, but not a tier one. CLF was up, sell set them. You can set an alarm. Let's set an alarm 43.75. Oh yeah, my alarm did go off on Sedgar. We shorted this courtesy of Alex into the close. Yeah, that looks great. I will put that in the window to watch it and manage it. We spend a lot of time in the green room talking about new short setups. Um, well, new short setups were okay yesterday because the market did its 3-day bounce. But the type of one where the markets were expecting a turn, but regardless, yeah, this was a nice setup. We did it. I just had a Dow alarm go off. This is a buy setup with a multi-bar turn over yesterday's high. It's a long watch. I had a PLD alarm go off. All right, I was watching this for a Climo, but it never gave us when we trade Climo, the turn is so important because of their counter trend trades. And we use the word potent, meaning jumps out at you. There's no potent turn here. So I got no interest in that. Gapping up a little bit, $3 stock, but it looks like a short-term bottom. It's kind of a massive W bottom. That's big old bottoming pattern. CHX is a buy setup. I have an alarm at 35. AGI down a little bit. If it can recover, then it looks good. Let's set an alarm 1525. And I already have one there. So see, I did that this morning when I was going through this already. The mic. This would have been one, if it recovered, but now the gap's too big, so I'm going to delete it. LRCX is a sell setup. So this is a good call spread idea, particularly if there's juice for tomorrow. I'll put this in a window, RCX, and also a day trade short idea. Rawlings shows it down 37 cents, but if it can recover, it looks good. Let's set an alarm 42.90. And look, I already did this. See? So I've already done some of this work, but this shows you my thinking is always consistent. Y'all see that? I forgot about that. I looked at these few already. And I'm setting the same alarms with the same bias. 717. This one, it's kind of a Wall Street loved one. 30-minute high is a possible, tomorrow's Friday, so a possible 1 DTE put spread. We were thinking of doing a condor on this in the earnings, but the spreads were asinine. All right, Whiskey Mike. Let's set an alarm at 210, 210.50. And I already have an alarm there. Helix, let's set an alarm at 11:10. And I have one at 11. Whirlpool, I saw a print up this morning, and this would have been a good bottoming pattern on major support for a put spread, but now the gap down is messing it up. This, I got no interest. This P-car alarm just went off. That's the sell setup. Yeah, that like I said, if it didn't have earnings so soon, that would be a nice new swing. All right, OII I like. I can't tell where it's gapping. Let's set an alarm 2320. Oh, it shows it gapping over it. So, but I don't see any prints. CHX up alarm. All right, so some print up here just set my alarm off. If somebody wants to watch that for us in the green room, RJF, no pattern. The White House is a sell setup. ICLR is a sell setup if it opens flat. Michael Charlie, sell setup. But whenever you see power and a deep retracement, don't expect a new low. I mean, this is a power move here. So those really aren't my setups. I like the weak retracement. CNMD, if I see one print down here, if this opens flat, beautiful continuation short. I will put this in a window, another computer. IoT. Opportunity with a pullback. Well, I don't know what type of pullback you're looking for. But you tell me when you like it. I got too much to watch. All right, so this is a bullish gap over yesterday's high. Let's see what it does. I'll pop it India here because I have Meta on my other computer, of course. Rawlings up alarm. Rawlings up alarm. See, so now the gap's too big. It's up here. But this was a nice turn. If it opened flat, I would have liked this over yesterday's high. BDC alarm. Come on, internet. Sell setup, BDC. I see one print down here. Keep an eye on that for a sell setup. Travelers is hitting. Let's short this. Stop yesterday's high. Well, let's short 5-minute low. I don't like trading the first 5 minutes. Short 5-minute low. This was John's trade idea from yesterday. All right, our Sedger. Let's move stop break even. Nice. I'll give the first target. HLX up alarm. Oh, all right. I don't like the gap down though, so forget about it. Forget about it. Sedgwick, I love moving stops break even as soon as reasonably possible. You can, use the word reasonable because you can't move it break even after, a nickel of unrealized gain. General Motors up alarm, that's relative strength. We were talking about that in MT Live yesterday as being a core long watch. Yeah, 23.45. That just hit done. As my minder showed 23.40. I forget this Helix, right? General Motors, nothing to do now, but it's still strong. MTOM, nice. We're short in the ETF letter. And I moved the stop to yesterday's high if you're in it. Set an up alarm at 179, low alarm 172. Yeah, Sedgwick hit its first 1/3 target right there. FRPT, Alex, from yesterday, alarm would be a 30-minute low. All right. Ah, Dow gapped over. All right, so that forget Dow. The gap messed it up. AD line almost negative 1900. VIX on the rise finally. Wow, tick took a note, well, tick gap down, but negative 1300 and not bouncing. That's bad. Bad. Hey, VIX looks like it's a buy setup. So that ain't good for the bulls either. All right, CNMD. Ah, this is the one I said if it opened flat. So that ain't working. Hey, Trump from yesterday I mentioned.
That looks good. One of the few things.
Yeah, it looks like a long right here. Stop, do you want yesterday's low? Target $50.
Has to be yesterday's low.
Yeah, I was stalking yesterday is making a higher low 180 reversal.
So I don't
But
know how much it affects it, Dan. There's probably not going to be anything said today. I saw in the news that they're starting Supreme Court, I guess, arguments, conversations, whatever, about the immunity thing today at 10 o'clock. But whatever. I mean, it looks good. Maybe that's why it's starting to go up. Some financials, start looking through them. That looks like, as you're looking at all of these daily charts, they're a lot like the ones that led the way down are so close to the prior low. So not that we can't short them, like SMH, or XLK close to the prior low. should go down there and take it out, but it closed versus maybe looking at financials, which rallied stronger and starting to roll over. Maybe find ones that are showing relative weakness. I'll look through them.
Home Depot warming off. Oh man, Home Depot looks ugly. It was actually up this morning. Now that is a failed climber with the 200. Look at Papa India middle chart right here. Oh, that was one I said was a nice gapper, but that was a gap and go. I like when these gap up and just give us bullish price action in the first 30 minutes. I don't like gap and goes as much. I mean, they're just hard, you gotta just strap it on and hold on. All right, bones.
Semis showing relative strength so
Oh,
far. Semiconductors so far holding, but
mm,
terrible daily chart.
mm.
Tesla's very strong. I think gap down got what? Maybe starting a bottom. UNH is positive. That that's holding the Dow up somewhat.
I gave Pan W as a 1, 2, 3, but that's not working. Let's cancel it. Let's cancel OW, deep retracement. That was another 1, 2, 3. I don't mind leaving them for the put spreads because I give a limit entry. So
Bob's going to break to yesterday's low, Dan. I don't know where you have to stop. Schwab.
oh no, we never entered it.
Okay. And so far, it's just going sideways.
Yeah, no, we never entered it. And because I didn't like the pullback on Monday. Oh, well, we're long. Oh, ITW. ITW hit the alarm. We got a half lot of this.
Prudential put an alert near yesterday's low. It's going to report earnings on the 30th, next Tuesday. But that would be a short under yesterday's low. Q's got above the open.
Yeah, Apple rode its strength again
Wow.
yesterday. Man, Tesla also with
How about Chipotle for a put spread, Dan? And they don't
it's usually
split that stock.
spreading. That's the problem with him. But yeah, excellent pattern. Why not a long?
Well, option. I mean, it's $3,000.
Yeah, I mean this one, yeah, the spreads are always ludicrous. So forget about it. But nice
They
pattern.
sell burritos. They must make a lot of money on burritos. Hilton call spread idea. HLT.
There's only monthlies, and there's I could do the 210, 220. So $10 wide. There's a $1.60, so that's good premium. So the question is, do you trust it for 3 weeks? I mean, of course, we don't have to stick around, but it's a different discussion than next week.
Doesn't look good.
All right. Meta finding some bottom fixtures, traveler hitting. Juicy meta is wouldn't not doing anything. But 410s maybe. Wow, Greg, the 400, 72 cents naked for tomorrow. Let's keep an eye on that. Travelers triggered. Mars holding.
AM semiconductors are still strong. AMD got gap down, got bought.
30,
That was
hey, 30,
starting the bottom.
30-minute high puts spread for tomorrow. $47. Earnings next week. Yep, not doing it here. Yeah, that's a big old gap to reverse without the bulls really stepping up. I saw IWM up this morning. My pre-market was like up here somewhere. Wow. Okay, holding well. Your Florida was a one-day wonder. ES. ES is still a 123. I'll set a new alarm at 61. That dash you mentioned yesterday. Gap down, got bought.
But put ALGM on the list. Let's see how that ends up today. That could be a 1, 2, 3 for tomorrow. Semiconductor.
Sure. Let's go through these earnings now. Meta down 70. I wonder how many billion in market cap that is. And I could do the math myself, but wondering if anyone knows. I'll set an alarm at 35 on this. SPX turned green, but still inside day. Now it's horrible. Breakdown weekly, climb on monthly. Helix nothing. Whirlpool. Ouch. See, that's a sign, this kind of a little bit related sign of Home Depot. Same sector, appliances, home furnishing, consumer spending, all that jazz. This was when I said I hoped it opened flat. I'm going to short it. PI, the gap and go. I didn't chase, but it looks great. URI gave up the gaps. Number, put spread. If there's any juice at 13, I doubt it. Lester, the molester, 170 put spread. There's no weeklies. It's a big gap. Housing stock, MTH. Oh, bear gap that bullies. Merck, nice day. Merck, I said you would be on put spread yesterday if you didn't mind ownership. Cat gapping down in the middle of no man's land. What's his cousin Deer? Deer looks worse. Wow, that was on my put spread list. That's another bullish gap negated. Remember yesterday I found there's like 15 of them. Here's another one, Honeywell. Look at that. There's a pro cap. Sony. That's very bullish.
So Don, this premium now you can go down to 49.40, 49.35. It's unlikely it's going down there today. You want to wait to see if it stabilizes, sure. just the melting ice cube thing. But you're down below, that's down below the pivot low from the 19th. That would be it. Besides the gap down today, that would be a humongous move. Highly unlikely it's going there today.
Set alarm 167.50 on the low. Another gap negated. That's an ugly gap down. Call spread if there's any juice over yesterday's high. RCL. It was up $4 pre-market. That's a call spread idea. It closes like this. Another bullish gap negated. Man, a lot of them. A lot. Edgar low alarm. Nice. Let's move stop high now.
Meta and Prudential setting up. Let's see where they end up today. Sell setups.
Yeah, we bailed ours break even yesterday. Yeah, Meta building a nice base here. Do you want to do the 410 puts, Greg, for tomorrow?
What are you gonna do? You gonna put the stop under today's low?
Probably do, 1-to-1 loss, which would be greater than that. 410, 400, $10 wide is 95 cents. So I would say, yeah, I'd say day's low. Yeah. Yeah, that would look ugly if it takes the low out.
Okay. It's basing here at the pre-market resistance. Interesting if it can take it out.
But remember, we also have more fangs tonight. Well, it's already dropped 13 cents since we've been talking.
Yeah. So you probably wouldn't want to hold it overnight, but I don't. Tough call.
Yeah, I won't. Be cautious.
Great relative strength in the semiconductor index. I mean, it's a terrible daily chart. It's the only thing holding the NASDAQ from dropping.
Well, yeah. I mean, it looks like a put spread idea for tomorrow, but it's a sell setup.
Mm-hmm.
SPLD never could make a turn. So I'm gonna stop watching it. Yeah, I had talking about semis. I had Qualcomm in my short watch, but yeah, it's holding. They are smur. We're in this long, it turned green. Gonna add yesterday's high, 123. And now 1, 2, 3, 4. General Motors holding relative strength.
Dow, first 5 minute green barn and taking out the high.
He was breaking out too. Cheers, yep, bullish day trade buys now. Diamonds, deeper into support, but Climo. Amazon, yeah, Meta's rocking. Amazon at the high. Google, Netflix. I think Meta was the best when we were hesitating on the put spread or day trade. That's the most upside. You got short covering and bottom fishers. Big old void.
Gonna buy T triple Q. Put a stop below the open.
Wow, that seems late for you.
No, I wasn't looking at it too much. Let's see, it's going. It's got room to go. Got such a giant void. Hard to say where it might go. So I might have to ask Alex where the next trader pivot line is, or the anchor line.
SFM is still hanging tough.
172. All right. Let's see what happens in the middle of nowhere. What do the futures have? Let's see. 2-minute high is 17,436 area. NVIDIA is strong. Terrible daily pattern, but ain't going to crack the Qs. Semiconductors showing such strength. Uh, yeah, why not, Rich? I mean, it depends on the strike, expiration, what's the premium? I mean, you got a short-term low, at least maybe for the morning.
I'm looking. Maybe the 418s. Wow, 82 cents. So, yeah, Greg, I got a roofer here I got to talk to, but if you want to post those cues,
Selling them naked. That's basically where that overnight swing is. on the T triple Qs. That's the resistance.
All right, Beck. No, I always, you know, the drill. We go all the way down till we only have to pay a penny. So this would be, um, we could do the 417. I just went a dollar lower. 417, 406 is 55. We could do one here and then add on a pullback. All right, so I'll post it.
Almost there. Trailing. Trail half. Take it all. Semis are at some resistance too. At the yes, they gapped up today. Or from yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday's high. Good travelers didn't go up. Relative weakness. that 2 bar reversal on the Qs or the NQs is a pivot in a smaller time frame. Now let's see how it deals with it.
Now, FRPT alarm. Prior low 103.51. I think it's good. Light volume. Yeah, a continuation pattern there, sure. Yeah, J&K has been on my list a few days. Yep. Wanted to see what it would do at the high of the range. Yep, I got an alarm on below. FRPT, did that hit? Let's see another alarm. Yeah, there's no weeklies here. Yeah, that one tail just triggered FRPT.